4 out of 7. So, for some reason, almost the entire world forgets who the Beatles are, except for one guy. And so
Is that Ed Sheeran?
No, but he starts playing these songs, and people are like, "Wow, this is incredible!" And he gets really famous because he's like introducing the world to the Beatles all over again. And he gets so famous, he meets Ed Sheeran, and there's this cool scene where they have this like Ed Sheeran challenges him to a contest of like, we each get 15 minutes to write a song, and we come back and play the song. And Ed Sheeran comes back with this incredible song, but then the guy comes back and plays Let It Be and just like blows him out of the water. And it's just like, I don't know, it's really good.
I feel like I've heard of a plot like that before, where somebody basically travels back in time and pretends that it's not this movie, it's another one though. They pretend to be a rock star. Oh, you know what it was? It was a plot from a Marvel TV show. Which one was it? It was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Huh.
So one of the guys, when they like travel back in time, that's what he does. I think they started filming us though.
Time travel. Hello.
Hey,
We're back. After not being back again.
I know, man. We've had 3 weeks now out of the last 6 that have been canceled because of snow. I mean, I'm grateful for snow and all. Like, snow is a really, really, really good and needed thing.
Yep.
You would not be able to take... Actually, Steven would not be able to take his baths without it. If you guys didn't know that, Steven, everybody in his house party, he loves taking baths.
It's true. I don't blame him. I'm too...
Did he take one at the cabin the other week?
Well, we sat in the hot tub.
Because I could totally picture him coming up to you being like, hey, can I use the master bathroom to go take a bath?
Yeah, we didn't need to because of the hot tub. And while I was in the hot tub, I was like, man, I see where Steven is coming from. Like, this is incredible. But because I'm 6'2", most normal baths do not allow you to just, like, fully spread out.
That master bathroom does.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
The leaders went on a retreat to
Not all the leaders.
A lot of the leaders went on a retreat to a cabin, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I was home with 5 kids so that my lovely wife could go.
I know.
Husband points.
We missed out on Nathan.
I don't know if you're missing much, though. All right, anyways, well, welcome to House Parties, guys. We're excited to be back. There is no snow in the forecast tonight, and if there is, we'll just play this next week. It is what it is. Hey, we got a couple announcements before we dive in to some slices. First one is this.
Mission trip.
Yep. Is it missions trip or mission trip?
Mission tripped. Mission tripped.
You got a little mission tripped up on that there. We're going to South Dakota, guys. We got a couple spots left. We would love for you guys to come. It's July 3rd through the 7th.
Yep.
If you're in a sibling pair or triplets or quadruplet, because I know we have a lot who have siblings, there's actually a special discount for you guys because having kids is expensive.
Yeah.
Sending multiple kids away is really expensive.
Yep.
So we want to help your family out. So if that's you, let us know. But it's going to be amazing. We're talking Mount Rushmore. We're talking fireworks and potentially a brand new Revolution. So it'd be pretty good.
And if you don't have any siblings and parents are still like, well, I don't know if we can afford it this time, please come and talk to like me or Nathan and have your parents talk to us because we don't want money to keep you from going to this. Like, it's going to be really, really
We've
good.
got people in our church who've already stepped up and said they will cover the cost of people who need it. Now, that's actually for people who really need it. It's not like, hey, I want to go buy a new iPhone and then go on a trip to New York City, and I don't have money for a mission trip, so can I get a scholarship?
Right.
No, sorry. You're going to stay home with your iPhone and watch all the photos that we post on Instagram.
Right. Mom and Dad give me $300 in cash. I'll give it to Stetson and Nathan, and then they just pocket it and say, we can't afford it.
That's not going to fly. That's not going to fly.
You'll ride on the roof of the van to South Dakota if you do that.
That would be the worst because there's a lot of like little bugsies out there.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine the amount of flies you'd eat? I mean,
a lot
of protein.
Many protein-rich flies.
Well, I think that's about it for now. Oh yeah, I guess the other one. We'll talk about this tonight. But we've kind of had to adapt our schedule a little bit in terms of what it looks like for us to do these projects we're going to be talking about tonight and how we love and care for people. So the announcement is really this. Thank you for being flexible.
Yeah.
It's more of an appreciation for you guys and your leaders, but hopefully it's giving you a little more time to plan and do something pretty cool.
Yeah. I have another announcement. I ate cereal just now, and I got that cereal from the cereal bar in the lobby at church.
Ooh.
If you come to Christ Community Church on the weekends, come hang out with us. Like me or Nathan is going to be there, and we'd love to see you, hear how life is going, stuff like that, and just give you some cereal. So Come
That's
see
right.
us.
And if you got friends who come with you, bring them too.
Yeah.
In fact, if you got friends, just bring them to house parties.
Yeah.
These are such amazing things that we get to connect and build relationships, explore faith, and eat cereal.
Yep.
Hopefully
All right.
your house party has cereal. All right, you got a slice. What do you got?
Okay, so there's this thing called the Queen's Jubilee. It's
Talking about queens again, aren't
yeah,
we?
it's the anniversary of when the Queen became Queen. And recently, the Queen had her platinum Jubilee.
Is that 75?
70.
70.
Yeah. And they outsourced to a company to make mugs and plates that announce this, but they misspelled Jubilee, and so it's for the Queen's Jubilee, which I thought was a funny word. The Queen's Jubilee.
What'd they do with them? Did they still give them out to everyone?
Oh, dude, I bet they're gonna go for like 4 times as much as they were originally going to. Because like collectors' misprints are like
Yeah, but how many did they print? They probably printed a ton, right?
not that much before they realize their mistake. So they're gonna go for a pretty
Like,
penny.
how do you misspell stuff in today's day and age with spell check? Like, every time I misspell something in an email or in a Word doc, even a text message, it'll, like, try to auto-correct it and have that little red squiggly line underneath it.
Well, people be people.
Cool. All right, so for my slice, we're going to go back to Canada.
Okay.
'Cause I love Canada. I know you love Canada, too.
I do. Yep.
Felon.
Good memories.
So this story comes out of Canada, but first let me ask you a hypothetical situation.
All right.
And I think what we're about to talk about here, it's both indicative of Canadians and anybody under the age of 25.
Okay.
So
all right.
if you were in a car and you drove it out onto a lake, and suddenly that lake was frozen. Yeah.
Okay.
And your car begins to then crack through the ice and sink into the water, and then a rescue boat comes out there, which I don't know how
On the ice?
Well, yeah, because it was only like partially frozen.
Okay.
So a boat comes out there to save her,
all right.
and I think it was actually like a kayaker who was out there.
Okay.
And so this woman's about to get saved, but then she decides she wants to do one thing before she gets saved. And this one, it's something I thought was like really impressive, but also really idiotic. Like, what do you think she did? So she's on a car. There's a kayak trying to save her.
Yeah.
Her car is sinking in a lake. A lot of ice everywhere. This is like frozen water.
Yeah.
What do you think you need to do in that situation? Like, what's your number one priority?
Well, to get on the boat, but like, did she have something in the car that she really wanted to keep, or
Nope.
What? Dance? She danced.
I
I don't know. What did she do?
While her car is sinking literally into the water at a rapid rate,
Yes.
she climbed onto the top of it so she could take a selfie.
Yes. That's incredible.
Is it?
It is.
I don't know about
That's
that, man.
amazing.
Like,
I love that.
5 more seconds and she would have been like trapped underneath this ice with the
Oh,
car.
I think it's so good. It's not the Titanic. She's not gonna get like.
I'm gonna see if I can
sunk
find the picture for you.
down. Man, that's so cool. You can
I don't know if it is, man.
I
I
think
mean,
it's incredible. You can show it to me later if you can't find it. But oh, that's not even showing the car.
I know she missed
I
the
was
perfect.
picturing like up here, and like you see the car sinking in the
But she's
ice.
on top of it.
That's
just
dumb.
And then
That's
she took
dumb.
like this like great picture, smiling. Like
That's
you wouldn't
dumb.
even know.
You're right. That's stupid.
But I don't know,
Yeah.
like, guys, if you're in like a burning building or a car that's sinking in ice, protect yourself. Get a selfie later.
Yeah.
Don't like. Do you know how many people have died because they've been taking selfies in like really terrible situations?
At least 12.
Yeah, I think it's like in the thousands every year.
But that's at least 12.
Yes. Guys, I don't want to do any of your funerals because you were taking a selfie.
I do. I'm going to show it in the slideshow. That'll be the last picture of the slideshow.
It's like the one that ends up on the internet.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. Well, that's it for Slices. Hopefully next week has some more eventful happenings that we could talk about. Otherwise, we're just going to talk about the Queen's Jubilee again.
Queen's Dribbler. All right. Well, to recap the past few weeks since we've been on again, off again,
It's like snip, snap, snip, snip.
yeah, a month ago, we had this idea of like, what if each group picked a group of people that needs help and we do something to help them? And so we planned for a week and then snow canceled it. And then we planned for another week and snow canceled it. And then we planned for another week and snow canceled it. And yeah, so if you haven't been here for a while, that's what you're jumping into. Your group can catch you up to speed.
Well, actually, I think it'd be good just to tell everybody what we're going to be doing for all these different groups so that everybody could see like these amazing ideas we've come up with. Like
Sure.
our group, we're going to be throwing like a dinner banquet for a bunch of teen single moms here in our city. We're going to try to get Zoe's to
cool.
be able to do that.
That's incredible.
Invite them to come down, put
That's
together gift
phenomenal.
baskets. And so we're working with the Crisis Pregnancy Center to get a list of
Oh,
names in the
man.
schools. Yeah.
That's so good. We narrowed down. We really wanted to do something for elderly people who are really lonely in a retirement home because they don't get a lot of visitors, and then there's COVID. So we're thinking through some different ideas. But if it doesn't even work out to visit, we're at least going to write a whole bunch of notes and drop them off so that people can read them and know.
Which is awesome. And I know one of the other groups is doing just care packages and things for victims of that last fire over in Boulder.
Yep.
Do you call them victims of a fire? Like, I feel like
I would say so. Yeah. Survivors.
you know, like I'm a victim of an attack by you if you slap me, but like,
The unburned.
am I?
I don't know.
Sorry if you live in Boulder and are watching this.
that
We're
was
not.
probably insensitive.
And then what's the last one?
I think there's another group who's focusing on that too.
So we got two groups in that?
Yeah. It's
Good
a pretty
job.
big deal. Yep.
Yeah.
Lot of carnage for sure. So yeah. Anyway, okay. So here's something that you and I have learned. It's really easy to get excited about helping people.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the times when we get down to figuring out how to actually do it, it's often a lot more complicated than we think. And even if it's not complicated, life happens. Like there are 2 big snowstorms that happen on Wednesdays. It was 3?
Three.
It was 3
since
snowstorms.
January
Just happened.
1st.
It's like, well, let's figure it out this way. And it... Okay, so Stephen, he made this incredible montage of all these things, like just, and I'm thinking about what I'm doing, expecting it. We got to show it to them at some point.
How about at the next student night we show it?
That's a really great idea. Okay, sorry, that was weird. So when you actually get down to helping people, there's a lot of stuff that can stand in the way, and it's hard to stay excited about helping people.
Well, I mean, it's like that for everything in life, right? You know, dreaming is super fun, thinking about who we want to become, what we want to do, but the actual execution, right? The part that actually costs us something, I don't know, like it gets hard. Like, so I think, you know, for those of you guys who maybe want to be really good students, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get straight A's this year. But then when it comes to actually like studying and doing the homework, you're like, Netflix.
Yeah.
When it comes to getting in shape, right? Everybody writes down, I want to have a 6-pack at the end of this year. And then it's like, I don't really want to run because it's snowing outside. You know what I mean? Like, dreaming is fun. Talking is easy. Executing, that's a heck of a lot harder because that's when it actually costs us something.
Yeah.
That's when we actually got to put in the work to do the thing we've been talking about or dreaming about.
Yeah, for sure. So some of you might be feeling that way about the ideas that you have. It's like, we're still doing this. Like, can we just move on? It's like, well, you could. But here's something that helps me switch my frame of mind when I've kind of like lost sight of why I'm doing this. And it's something that Jesus teaches a lot and something that Jesus shows us just the way that he treated other people. And it's that every single person is incredibly valuable and they're worth loving and they're worth being taken care of. And it's easy to look at a problem like a big fire and see it as like this thing. And then we forget, well, this is impacting a bunch of individuals. Like there's little kids whose house burned up. There's an old person in a retirement center who nobody has talked to in 3 years. There's a young teen mom who is scared out of her mind and feels like no one's going to have her back as she like starts to raise this kid. And like these people are important. And when we remember, oh, this isn't a cause, these are people, that's something that really shifts my perspective.
Yeah, like I think about the story, like Jesus was down by the pool of Bethesda, and like there's this whole history there of this particular pool of where, you know, people would go there, specifically people who were sick or lame, and they would go down there.
Lame as in can't walk.
Can't walk.
They're not fun.
They might have been a little lame too, but they would go down there because like there was
all
this
the boring people.
there was this like legend that whenever the water stirred, if you touched the water first, you'd be the person who got healed.
Right.
Now, obviously, that wasn't true. The only reason the water stirred is because they released some water at a different part of the you know, palace grounds or whatever.
Yeah.
But there was this guy there this one time, and he was a beggar, right? He was a lame guy, couldn't walk, and
he was probably really cool though.
it's probably a really cool
It's
lame
not
guy.
that he's
Yeah,
boring.
he's a cool
he
lame
just
guy.
can't walk.
But Jesus, like when he sees him there, this guy that everybody else had ignored, this guy that everybody else looked past, like Jesus sought him out.
Yep.
And Jesus healed him and gave this man the ability to get up and to walk. And it's like this beautiful, like Jesus had a lot going on. Like he was big, like he literally had thousands of people clamoring for his attention on a daily basis. And yet in this moment, even though there were all these like important people around trying to get his attention, he ignored all of that and said, that's not my priority right now. My priority is this one guy that everybody else is overlooking. That's who I care about. And to me, it's like, man, I want to live that kind of life. Like I want to be the kind of person who notices the unnoticeable, the kind of person who seeks out the people that others have rejected. And it's not because I just want to feel good about myself. I want people to see the value that they have, and I want people to feel like I'm not alone. In fact, that's why so many of you guys are even here being a part of our actual student ministry, and you're part of a house party, because when you show up, you feel like they know me, they see me, they understand me, they love me, they care about me. And for us, like when we do this for some of the most vulnerable and overlooked people in our community, like we get to give them that same feeling that maybe we experience here in being seen and cared for.
Yeah, absolutely. Jesus, he also told this parable, which is just kind of like a metaphor for something to explain how God feels about us. And he talked about the shepherd who has 100 sheep, and he was counting his sheep in this pen that they were all safe in, and he got to 99. He's like, oh, okay, I'm missing one. And he leaves these 99 sheep that are doing just fine, and he goes all the way out to find one sheep, like the one sheep that he was missing, and he carries him back home on his shoulders. That's how God feels about every single one of you. That's how God feels about every single one of the people that your group has been talking about helping. And so the reason why we do the work to help other people is because they're incredibly valuable, and God loves them, and God loves us, and we would want the same if we were in their shoes, even if it snowed every other Wednesday.
And I think there's something actually like really important that we never really talk about in that parable. Like, you know, for a lot of people, we sometimes look at what we have. You know, like that shepherd could have easily just as well said, like, well, I still got 99 sheep, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would have done.
Right? And he's like, I feel pretty good. Like a 99% success rate. Like, I'm good. Who cares about the 1%, right? We're just going to opportunity cost, right? Like, or whatever. And it's like, no, like, he loved that thing so much he'd go after it. Like, so if I take my 5 girls out and I only come back with 4, you know, it is like, hey, I got 80% of them home. It's like my wife would be like, go get the 1.
Yeah.
And it's that's the way that God feels about us.
Yeah.
Right? You know, absolutely. So every homeless person, every, you know, single teen mom, every elderly person in, you know, this retirement home, everybody who has lost something significant in a fire, like, his heart goes out to them. And that's not to say that he doesn't care about the 99 or those of us who aren't there. But the Bible is just so clear. Like, his heart is especially for the people that nobody else cares for.
Yep, for sure. So that's why we're continuing to do this for over a month, I think it's been.
It was supposed to be 4 weeks, but now, but you know what? Like, I'm actually grateful for it, because it's actually like this perfect metaphor of just how hard it is sometimes to really love and care for people.
Yep, for sure.
Because sometimes we come up with a plan in our head of the way things are going to work out, and it's going to be nice, easy, and organized. But the reality is, when you're working with vulnerable people, when you're working with hurting people, it is anything but nice, neat, and easy.
Yeah, for sure.
In fact, it's actually often hard, costly, and painful.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I believe it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Because that's what Jesus told us about what he did at the cross, right? When he came here for us, when he pursued us, yeah, it cost him a lot. It hurt a lot for him to go after the 1.
Yeah.
And yet he said it was worth it. And so because we were worth it to him, I want to make sure that other people are worth it to me.
Yep, for sure.
And so hopefully this whole experience, it just kind of really drives the point home. Like, we got to love and care for people, and it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. And we're going to keep doing stuff like this. We may not always do it in the same kind of context, but serving people, loving people, caring for people, noticing people. We want that. Like, if there's one thing you take away from most of what we do here, like, it's not going to be the silly games with the chicken, which you're going to find out about in March. It's going to be really good. Like, you forget about that. I want you to remember that you've been called to serve and to love and to care.
Yep. Cool. All right. Well, this once again is your final week of planning. And then next week, if you have not already, that's going to be the week where you can actually do what you have been planning for. So
Yeah, except ours is going to be a little later because it takes a while to throw a party.
Not a big deal.
It'll be a good party.
Cool.
All right, guys. Well, hey, have a great discussion as you guys continue to plan and dream, and we'll see you guys next week.